Hello everyone, welcome to Full Moon Movies. Zack Cregger's Weapons arrives like a slow panic that never lets up, a suburban nightmare that starts with a single uncanny detail where 17 third graders walking out of their homes at exactly 2:17 a.m. and keeps widening the circle of dread until the entire town feels bewitched. Cregger, fresh off the breakout of Barbarian, uses the disappearance as a pressure cooker rather than a puzzle box. The mystery is less who did it than what kind of world allows this to happen. Anchoring that world is an ensemble stacked with lived-in presences. Josh Brolin's hard-grieving gravitas, Julius Garner's brittle compassion as a teacher caught in a moral and social crossfire, Alden Ehrenreich and Austin Abrams threading different shades of denial and complicity, and Benedict Wong and Amy Madigan adding sinew to the town's institutional and generational memory. Now, it's a film built on performances that feel pinched by rumor, guilt, and a creeping supernatural logic. Cregger stages the early passages like a community autopsy. Doors, Porsches, cul-de-sacs, everything familiar becomes suspect. Lacking simple cinematography keeps the frame cool and observational, resisting jump scare grammar in a favor of long, watchful lenses that make you a neighbor peering through the blinds. When the film does tilt into overt horror, it does so with blunt ritualistic force, with static compositions hold with an impossible things that enters the shot, or a sound we can't place growls loud enough to own the room. The score, co-composed by Cregger and Ryan and Hiles Holiday, leans into uneasy textures more than melody. It's the air pressure change before a storm, the tinnitus that makes ordinary life feel haunted. Now, what keeps Weapons sticky isn't only its craft but its character focus. Garner's Justine in the heart of the film, a teacher swiftly scapegoated by a town eager for a human culprit. Watching her orbit narrow from a job suspended, friendship evaporating, whispers blooming at the grocery store gives the movie an everyday cruelty that bites harder than any supernatural reveal. Bronlin's role, meanwhile, locates the story's adult rage, that the parental impulse to punish someone, anyone, even if the target is a mirror. Cregger's writing is surprisingly tender with the children. They aren't props but vectors of fear. And the film's most upsetting ideas is that kids can be weaponized by forces they can't understand. Now that's the real bleak social settings that resonates well beyond genre. Communities sometimes choose these catharsis over truth. Now formerly Cregger advances what he tried in Barbarian, like a modular storytelling that clicks together late. Chapter feels self-sufficient, threads about the teacher's past, sleep, a cop's professional rot, a parent's bargain, and then the recur with altered meaning, like seeing your own house from a neighbor's window. Joe Murphy's editing is crucial here. Instead of sleek momentum, he opts for rhythms that bruises, hard cuts that feel like a door shutting in your face, and cross scenes that rhymes gestures rather than plot. Now, by the time the mythology sharpens, the film has trained you to distrust clean answers, which makes the climactic movements land like a confession rather than exposition dump. Critics have called it hypnotic and anxiety driven for a good reason. The movie lets ambiguity breathe without feeling coy. A few sequences stand out as instant genre talking points. An early classroom scene with innocuous on the surface quietly seeds a ritual logic that only snaps into focus much later. On a second viewing, the blocking alone is a warning. Midway, there's a police station corridor with fluorescent hum off screen where voices turn to a procedural space into a chapel of doubt. And late in the film, a domestic tableau collapses into something occult without changing much in the frame at all. The horror is in how normal the image really looks if you choose not to see it. Now, these aren't gotcha moments, they are arguments about how evil hides in plain sight, wearing PTA smiles and HOA bylaws like masks. Now, when it comes to reviewers, the reaction have ranged from raves about its potency to debate over how neatly the answers actually land, which feels right for a film inviting post-screening autopsies. If there's a stumble, it's that the film's lore occasionally feels more suggestive than integrated. A couple of late explanations risk reducing the cosmic dread to rulebook terms. But even when mythology is strange, the atmosphere really still upholds. Now that's because Cregger keeps returning to the emotional economies of a frightened town where parents protecting reputations instead of children, institutions managing liabilities instead of care, and neighbors weaponizing rumor to feel safe. Now the title is literal and figurative. Weapons are guns of gossip, rituals and press conferences, and stories we tell to make uncertainty punishable. On the craft side, Larkin Sipple deserves a special mention for how daylight is actually used. Horror loves the night. Weapons makes noon feel like an interrogation light. The color pipeline desaturated with falling into a grunge cliche, allowing faces and textures to read clearly, like wrinkles, scraps, condensation on a glass. So when something impossible intrudes, you can't really hide its stylistic murk. Sound is equally disciplined. The mix saves its loudest peaks for moments that matter. And for me, those silence in the movie was really scary. Now, keeping the dialogue intelligible and reserving base swells for a handful of rituals and reveals. For home viewing, those choices translate beautifully. This is a track built for dynamic headroom rather than constant blast. The film's cultural moment matters too. Released in August 8, 2025, after date shuffles, Weapons immediately overperformed, opening north of 40 million and holding unusually well. A reminder that original R-rated genres can still feel like an event if the premise promises conversation. Its domestic and worldwide total cemented it as one of the year's stealth juggernauts, and the Halloween-timed streaming drop extended its afterlife with a new wave of theories and frame-by-frame dissections online. Now that trajectory mirrors the movie's design. It's built to linger in group chats and parent forums, not just Friday night jump scare reels. So does it stick the landing? The ending actually splits viewers. Some find it bravery bittersweet, others too deterministic, while it's undeniably felt. Cregger's final beat is less a twist than a moral. Even if you solve the riddle, the damage is already done. Communities don't snap back like rubber bands, you see. So that's the bitter grief of the weapons. It leaves you with a town that you can still map the street by street and a wound that you really can't quite name. In conclusion, Weapons is a nervy, confident step for Cregger, less prankish than Barbarian, more poisonous in the air it breathes. Now, if you want clean catharsis, you'll fight it. Now, if you want a horror film that weaponizes ambiguity, rumor, and ritual to show how fear colonizes ordinary life, this one gets under the skin and stays there. Now, this movie is a must watch.